After spending 5 days in Tokyo, Osaka, and Nara experiencing Japan's captivating cities, nature, and unique activities, Rachel and I were eagerly anticipating what the rest of our trip to Japan had to offer. We chose to stay in Osaka as a home base for our time in the Kansai region, and with a few more days there, had a couple of day trips to take before heading down to what would become one of our new favorite places in the world to visit. With that intro, we are going to jump into day 6 of our adventure to Japan for what is one of my personal favorite day trips from Osaka.
We woke up early to take a day trip to the Himeji Castle and to Hiroshima's famous Peace Park. While this is certainly a long day, we think it is totally worth it to see these incredible monuments and very doable with a lot of downtime on the train to recharge. We took the 740 Shinkansen from Osaka Station, which arrived in Himeji at 8:15. After arriving at Himeji Station, we walked out and were immediately greeted with the views of the stunning Himeji Castle. The castle is one of the first named UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Japan and is one of the country's most well-preserved castles.
After a quick 20-minute walk from the station, we were at the base of the castle ready for our self-guided tour. This stunning castle dates back to the 14th century with construction beginning in the year 1333. The castle served as a military fortress for defense during the feudal era with advanced defense features like moats, angled chutes for dropping rocks and hot oil on attackers, and a complex maze structure leading to the keep. As we walked through the castle, we couldn't help but think about how intimidating it would have been to come to battle against such an impressive structure. We thoroughly enjoyed walking through the castle and having a bit of history brought to life as we imagine what life was like 700 years ago.
After our tour, we walked next door to the beautiful Koko-en Japanese garden. This beautiful garden has 9 distinct sections, each designed in a different style to showcase a variety of Japanese gardens. This is a peaceful place and beautiful contrast to the grandeur of the castle, which we absolutely loved. After the gardens, we headed back to the station and stopped for a delicious bowl of gyudon on the way. Originally, we weren't sure if we were going to have the time to stop in Himeji, but we are so glad we did. The Shinkansen from Himeji left at 11:50 and took just over an hour through the beautiful Japanese countryside to reach Hiroshima.
While you could walk from the station down Peace Boulevard to Peace Park, we would recommend taking a bus or taxi as it quickly becomes a lot of walking in one day. Once we arrived at Peace Park, we could immediately feel there was something different about the atmosphere and grounds. It is difficult to describe the feeling we had as we walked through. If we were to use one word, it would have to be heavy. We began at the atomic bomb dome, which stands at the epicenter of the explosion of the first ever atomic bomb. As the explosion went out, the dome was left as one of the most intact buildings. After visiting the dome, we walked to the Children's Peace Monument and over to the National Peace Memorial Hall before making our way to Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum.
Visiting Peace Memorial Park was a deeply moving and somber experience. It offered profound insight into the devastating impact of the atomic bomb, which truly was a powerful message on the importance of peace and the destruction that we as humans are capable of. As we felt it would be easy for Japan to point fingers, we were incredibly impressed by the neutrality of the message and felt like this gave the message even more weight. The lessons we learned from travel are truly our favorite part of traveling. While it was by no means a fun visit, our trip to Peace Park left a profound impact on Jason and I, and we are so grateful for the opportunity we had to visit. After spending the afternoon at Peace Park, we headed into the downtown area of Hiroshima for dinner. With the memory of last night's okonomiyaki fresh in our mind, we opted to try Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki for dinner.
Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki is similar to what you'd find in Osaka, but different in 2 key ways. The first is the cooking style. Instead of mixing everything together, the ingredients are layered. Second, Hiroshima-style Okonomiyaki has the addition of yakisoba noodles, which makes it extra filling. The okonomiyaki we had was incredibly tasty and had a distinct flavor that set it apart from what we experienced in Osaka. Though initially unsure about having it for 2 consecutive nights, we were so glad we did. After dinner, we headed back to Hiroshima Station and took a 2.5-hour Shinkansen back to Osaka. While it certainly was a long day, we loved our trip to Himeji and Hiroshima and would definitely recommend it as one of the best day trips you can take from Osaka.
For our 7th day in Japan and our final full day in the Kansai area, we set out to explore the historic city of Kyoto. Renowned for its rich history, traditional culture, and breathtaking beauty, Kyoto is one of the must-visit places in Japan. Getting around Kyoto can be a bit challenging as the train network there is not as built out as other large cities like Tokyo. As such, we would recommend either riding the bus, paying for a private car or tour to drive you to locations, or renting electric bicycles to take around the city. We opted for the e-bikes as a cost-friendly and fun way to explore Kyoto while also getting to see some of the less touristy places along the way.
As many of the top locations get packed throughout the day, we woke up especially early to try and beat out some of the crowds. Our first stop was the iconic Yasaka Pagoda. Sitting as my computer wallpaper for the last 3 years, I could not wait to see this beautiful pagoda and surrounding street in person. The pagoda was absolutely stunning, and getting to see it without many others around was an absolute treat. After the pagoda, we walked a few minutes down the road to Kiyomizu-dera. Sitting on the hillside, Kiyomizu-dera is one of Kyoto's most famous and beautiful temples. Constructed in 1778, this UNESCO World Heritage Site has survived numerous fires and stands today as a testament to the rich cultural heritage of Japan.
After Kiyomizu-dera, we rode our bikes just under an hour to the famous Golden Pavilion, Kinkaku-ji. Yet another UNESCO World Heritage Site, Kinkaku-ji is known for its dazzling golden exterior and picturesque surroundings. Covered in gold leaf, this temple's timeless elegance reflects from the beautiful koi pond and is a must-see attraction when visiting Kyoto. After the Golden Pavilion, we rode our bikes 9 kilometers through the beautiful city of Kyoto to Arashiyama. On the way, we stopped for sushi at Kura Sushi, which is one of the most popular conveyor belt sushi chains in Japan. After a delicious lunch, we finished our ride to Arashiyama.
Arashiyama is a district tucked away on the western outskirts of Kyoto against the mountains. With the Katsura River running next to it and various historical landmarks, Arashiyama is one of my all-time favorite places in Kyoto. While you could easily spend an entire day exploring everything Arashiyama has to offer, we came to climb the hilltop to see the famous Iwatayama Monkey Park. Awaiting us at the top of a 30-minute hike was a beautiful view of Kyoto and over 100 Japanese Macau monkeys, which were adorable. It was super fun to be up close and personal with these monkeys in such a beautiful place.
Unfortunately for us, as we were watching the monkeys, the clouds rolled in and it started to pour rain. Not looking like it was letting up anytime soon, we walked down and headed back to return our bikes by the 5 p.m. drop-off time. The original plan was to visit the Fushimi Inari Torii gates after dropping off the bikes, but due to the fact that we were not prepared for the weather, we decided to call it a day and head straight to dinner.
For dinner, we opted for a kaiseki, which is a traditional multi-course Japanese dinner that often emphasizes exquisite presentation. It was super fun to try a variety of Japanese dishes, and the food really did look like artwork. This was a super great way to end our evening in the historic city of Kyoto.
We woke up a bit sad that it was our final day in the Kansai region. This was one of my favorite parts of Japan, with so much delicious food, beautiful temples, and shrines around every corner, and what felt like the perfect blend of historical treasures mixed with modern urban living. The Kansai region really felt like it captured the very essence of Japan's past, present, and future. For our final morning in Osaka, we decided to explore Dotonbori during the day to try some more street food and experience the region's famous Kobe beef. If you have some more time in Osaka, we would recommend visiting the Osaka Castle, Ueno Sky Building, or the Osaka Aquarium.
After exploring and doing a bit of shopping, we went to Takengum Yakiniku, which is a famous yakiniku chain in Japan for their delicious Kobe beef. If Kobe beef is something you want to try in Japan, we would recommend doing it during lunch, as the prices are often significantly cheaper than at dinner time. Our Kobe beef was absolutely delicious, but we personally didn't notice any difference to the A5 Wagyu that we had in Tokyo. After our Kobe beef, we headed back to the station to take the rapid train to the Kansai airport. On the way, we stopped for our last Osaka classic of takoyaki. These chewy yet crispy balls are filled with diced octopus and topped with bonita flakes and a savory sweet sauce that creates an explosion of flavor. Famous Osaka food that you have to try is takoyaki. So it's our last day here in Osaka, and we couldn't leave the city without trying it. So we absolutely loved our takoyaki, and it was yet again another food highlight for us in Japan. After our takoyaki, we hopped on the rapid train to the Kansai airport, which took just over 30 minutes, where we boarded our flight to the next part of our journey, Okinawa.
As big marine life and beach lovers, Jason and I could not wait to experience the southern tropical region of Japan. Upon arriving, we headed to our hotel in Naha to drop off our bags. As we were only staying a couple of days in Okinawa, we opted to stay in Naha for its close proximity to the airport and to ferries. If you plan to visit for longer, you may want to consider staying on the east side of the main island, or even on one of the smaller islands for the best beaches.
After dropping off our bags, we headed into downtown Naha to eat some of the famous Ichiran Ramen. As quite possibly Japan's most successful and famous ramen shop, we were super excited to try their tonkatsu ramen and compare it to the Ippudo ramen that we had earlier in the trip. Ordering at Ichiran is a fun experience, as you customize your order at a vending machine, which then gives you a ticket. After receiving the ticket and being seated, you slide it under the window at your seat. The ramen is then delivered to you, completing the process without needing to talk to anyone.
Our ramen was delicious. The broth was rich and the noodles were a perfect, firm yet chewy texture.
So we just finished eating at Ichiran, and this is a controversial opinion, but I think it's better than Ippudo. I mean, both Ippudo and Ichiran are like absolutely delicious, but I think Ichiran just slightly has the edge for me.
After dinner, we headed back to the hotel and hit the hay early, excited for the real start of our adventures on this island paradise.
For our first full day in Okinawa, we set off to go scuba diving at Kerama Island National Park. Known as one of the best diving sites in all of Japan, we were excited to check it out and see how the underwater world compared to our diving in Fiji, which we were told was some of the best in the world. After grabbing our gear and taking a 30-minute boat ride to the main island of Kerama National Park, we were ready to scuba dive. As we jumped in, we were immediately blown away by the clear water and visibility. As we dove down, we were greeted by these little guys, which was a great way to start the dive.
As we continued, we were blown away by the pristine corals and sheer amount of fish. It was a perfect dive to start our day. For our next dive, we headed 15 minutes to a site that was especially known for its blue corals. Only found in select parts of Japan and Australia, we couldn't wait to experience these for ourselves. On the way, we saw the biggest sea fan we had ever seen. We also saw a striped sea snake. At the bottom, we were greeted by the blue corals, which were beautiful. Our second dive was incredible, but little did we know they were saving the best for last with our third dive.
Our third dive was the deepest and went in between two coral walls, which was super cool. We saw some white coral fans, which were stunning. After swimming for a bit at the bottom, we saw the biggest fish that we have ever seen while diving. The fish was seriously the same size as us, which was awesome, but a bit terrifying at the same time. After enjoying the corals a bit more, we stopped at a shallow spot to do our safety stop. I was finally able to get my bubble ring, which was awesome.
Overall, our scuba diving in Okinawa was incredible. After experiencing what we were told was the best marine life in the world in Fiji, we were not sure what to expect, but for us the diving turned out to be just as good in Okinawa. The water clarity and visibility, beautiful and unique blue and white corals, and bigger animals made our diving truly spectacular. As always, we are so grateful for our opportunity to dive and experience the world underwater. It truly is a gift to be able to see the beauty and harmony that exists in the ocean. After our dive, the rain started to roll in, so we stopped for a comforting bowl of gyudon for dinner before heading back to relax at our hotel for the night.
For our last full day in Okinawa and the spectacular country of Japan, we plan to visit the beautiful Zamami Island. Known for its beautiful white sand beaches, we couldn't wait to spend the last day after an action-packed trip relaxing in paradise.
Today we were going to go to Zamami Island. It is just a ferry ride from Naha. It has beautiful beaches, great snorkeling, so we were really excited for all that white sand beach goodness. However, because of high waves due to an incoming typhoon, the ferry is canceled, so we can't go there today.
With our plans for the day totally thrown off, we called around and thankfully found a last-minute rental car that we could use to explore the island.
While the sun was out, we headed to Naminoue Beach and Shrine to relax in the sun and take in the views. Located directly in the city of Naha, this picturesque urban beach was a perfect and convenient spot to spend the morning. After grabbing lunch at a restaurant along the beach, we hopped in our car and drove just over 2 hours along the coast to the Ocean Expo Park. This popular marine park is home to the Okinawa Aquarium, beautiful Emerald Beach, and various outdoor marine pools with dolphins, sea turtles, and other marine animals. Home to one of the largest tanks in the world, we started our exploration of the Ocean Expo at the Okinawa Aquarium.
We loved all of the information and getting to see so many beautiful and huge fish up close. While the fish were fun to see, we were absolutely blown away when we walked into the Kuroshio sea tank and saw a whale shark freely swimming around. This was Rachel and my first ever time seeing a whale shark in person, and it was incredible. The immense size and gentle movements evoked a sense of awe that words can hardly capture. After the aquarium, we walked around to the other exhibits where we saw dolphins, sea turtles, and manatees. After checking out the various exhibits, we relaxed on the beach and just took in paradise for a bit.
As we sat there, we reflected on our trip to the beautiful and diverse country of Japan. We experienced some of the most incredible nature, serene temples, dynamic cities, delicious food, and beautiful wildlife all in one trip. Japan truly is a country where you can find a bit of everything, and we absolutely loved our trip. As always, travel is such a privilege, and we are so grateful for the opportunity we have to visit other parts of the world. Every country we go to teaches us something new and helps us discover areas where we can grow.
As we looked back on our trip, we couldn't help but notice the respect of the Japanese people. Respect for nature, respect for other people, respect for food, and maybe most importantly, respect for themselves. This was clearly demonstrated to us by the quality and effort put into every aspect of their lives. Their example left us feeling inspired and recommitted to being intentional in everything that we do back at home. As always, if you have the opportunity to visit, we would definitely recommend taking a trip to Japan to experience all that it has to offer for yourselves.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it would really help us out if you gave a like and subscribed. We have a lot more travel content we are excited to show you, and as always, we hope you have an amazing day.